Shakespeare Festival is many things. We are best known for our free festival in the park every summer, beginning on Memorial Day, continuing for 4 weeks, where we put on a single play free to the public.
So it's really wonderful that it's a place where the whole community can come together and enjoy, world-class Shakespeare.
That the true prince may, for recreation's sake, prove a false thief. Farewell. You shall find me in Eastcheap.
This past year we did Henry IV and Henry V. 22 actors on stage, biggest cast ever. 16 of those people call St. Louis home. The leading man, St. Louisan.
Our company has been involved with the Shakespeare Festival since the very beginning, so it's been almost 15 years. And we designed the very first poster for the first play in Forest Park, and have been working on the branding and graphics for Shakespeare Festival ever since.
A festival is more than one thing. And so we have to fully realize what that word means. How do we give opportunities for people to engage with us, not just in the park, but in other ways, other venues?
We have an amazing education program that has programs in grade schools, middle schools, and high schools. And then we also have a program to train young actors to do Shakespeare, and they put on a Shakespeare play every year. And it's really wonderful to see these kids just blossom and find their path in acting.
We've developed Shakespeare in the Streets, where we go to a neighborhood each year and tell the story of that neighborhood, and using both professional and actors from the neighborhood.
The Free Shakespeare in Forest Park is at the heart of the organization, and it's something that we want people to be able to come and share and have a picnic with their family, and at the same time enjoy amazing high-quality Shakespeare.
There's something quite magical about the Shakespeare Festival. Because it's free, and it's in our beloved Forest Park, in this wonderful amphitheater that we've now called Shakespeare Glen, it brings together the whole community.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 St. Louis Arts Award for Excellence in the Arts goes to Shakespeare Festival St. Louis. Accepting on behalf of that organization is Chuck Miller, Board Chairman.
Thank you very much. Timing is everything, and it's my privilege to serve as the current board chair for the Shakespeare Festival St. Louis. With me tonight are Jennifer Stoffel, our deputy director, Bruce Longworth, our interim artistic director, Lana Pepper, our first executive director appointed 15 years ago, and Rick Dildine, executive director and president of Shakespeare & Company, and previously our own executive and artistic director. On their behalf and on behalf of our fantastic staff, actors, volunteers, board members, donors, and most importantly, our audience, thank you for this award. The Arts and Education Council was with us from the beginning, as you've been with so many arts and education programs. Your work has truly enriched our entire region. When our work shines as a light, as we think it does, then we, like the other artists you support, are simply reflecting back the bright light of your vision, and we're grateful. In our footlights, those things that pull us together as a community are made prominent, and those that rip us apart are lessened. In a shared experience of a live performance, we can see ourselves as a single people bound together in our faults, in our strengths, and our dreams. Your work lights the way for so many. And like Portia, we're delighted to note how far that little candle throws his beams. So shines a good deed in a naughty world, your good deeds. Thank you. This summer, come see our light shine on Antony and Cleopatra. It's absolutely free in Forest Park, mid-May through mid-June. Thank you.
And now for a special treat. We have two of Shakespeare Festival's finest actors with us tonight, Anderson Matthews and Jim Butts. They're here to give us an example of Shakespeare's work and their own with selections from the life of King Henry V. We begin with the prologue to the play, performed by Anderson Matthews. He will then be joined by Jim Butts to perform a selection from Act 1, Scene 2 from Henry V.
That would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casques that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000, and let us, ciphers to this greater compt, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls is now confined 2 mighty monarchies, whose high, upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, and to 1,000 parts divide one man, and make imaginary puissance. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth, for 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings, carry them here and there, jumping o'er time, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass. For the which supply, admit me, chorus to this history, who, prologue like, your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge. Our play.
Now are we well prepared to hear the pleasure of our fair cousin Dauphin, for we hear your greeting is from him, not from the king.
May it please your majesty to give us leave freely to render what we have in charge, or shall we sparingly show you far off the Dauphin's meaning and our embassy?
We are no tyrant, but a Christian king, under whose grace our passion is as subject as is our wretches fettered in our prisons. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed spirit, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Thus then in few, your highness, lately sending into France, did claim some certain dukedoms in the right of your great predecessor, King Edward III. In answer of which claim, the prince, my master, says, you savor too much of your youth, and bids you be advised, there is naught in France that can be with a nimble galliard one. You cannot revel into dukedoms there. He therefore sends you meter for your spirit, this ton of treasure, and in lieu of this desires you let those dukedoms that you claim hear no more of you. Thus the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, Herald?
Tennis balls, my lord.
We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set, shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France will be disturbed with chases. And we understand him well. How he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. We never valued this poor seat of England, and therefore, living hence, did give ourselves to barbarous license, as 'tis ever common that men are merriest when they are from home. But tell the Dauphin I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plodded like a man for working days. But I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France, yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us, and tell the pleasant prince this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down, and so we get ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. But this lies all within the will of God, to whom I do appeal, and in whose name tell you the Dauphin I am coming on to venge me as I may, and to put forth my rightful hand in a well-hallowed cause. So get you hence in peace. And tell the Dauphin his jest will savor but of shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Fare you well.